Good evening, everybody. Pop in, say hi as you come in. I was just finishing up my post for my Instagram. I wasn't going to do one, but I changed my mind. I came up with the word and yeah, so that'll be good. Check out my Instagram when you have a few minutes. Oh, the lighting isn't very good here today. I moved the camera back a little bit. Oh, let me move my partition. This is for my work program for getting back to work. So I just moved that away. If I'm going to do Zoom work, right, then we'll just move that over like that. I didn't want my brand, right? I'm sure whatever company I work for would not want to see my brand everywhere, right? And then I can always scoot this stuff over, right, so that they can't see it. This whole area is being changed around right away anyway. The lighting isn't very good today. Let me play around with the lighting. Like I said, say hi as you pop in and oh, too dark. We're gonna have to live with this. You know, I need a good light, right? Hi Andrew, how are you today? Gangplank, walked up the gangplank. Oh, perfect. Let me know how your day is going. I've been doing a few lives today on Instagram, a little bit of laundry. I made a nice dinner. I had what did I make for dinner? I made a salad and some fish. I made some fish. I made a little salad and some fish, and yeah. Then I meant to go for a walk, but then I got into my post, and yeah. So maybe I can go for a walk even this evening. Oh, William's here too. How was your day, William, today? How is your day going? Did you go for a walk this morning? Is this now a new part of your routine? Are you going for walks like regularly now? Here, let me change my microphone over a little bit, right? Because it's hiding my book. Oh, perfect. Yeah, tell us about William's been going for walks daily lately, right? So he's been taking up the hobby of walking, and yeah, he's been finding it quite beneficial too, right? And yeah, I haven't been on my bike in the past couple of days, but I have been going for a walk. Even yesterday, I put on my raincoat. It was the first time wearing my raincoat this year, and I just went out for a little short walk, right? But it was really, really nice. You're getting a little big. Not from your pictures, William. From the pictures I see, you look like you're pretty slim. You look like you're pretty slim. But yeah, we all gain weight and lose. I've gained about 6 pounds. 6 pounds. I'm not quite sure, right? I'm trying only to weigh myself once a week, right? But I haven't been dieting. I find though when my stress levels go up, then I don't diet. I don't have like bad foods really in my house, so it's not like I could overeat on foods that aren't good for me. But I will take that extra sausage and I will eat the extra egg and stuff, right? So I could cut back a little bit more that way, but I haven't. But yeah, I'm pleased to hear, walking is really, really good for you to go into mindful walking, just getting some fresh air, right? Yeah, we had 2 cases today. I expected the cases to be increased, that we were going to have a little bit of a spike. I looked at the numbers in the world with the virus, right? And there have been some pretty high spikes in certain countries, right? I'm keeping a half eye on India, and I've been sending India light and best wishes, right? But here in Manitoba too, right? Those cases, we had 2 new cases today. Was it today or yesterday? Two new cases. We have nobody in the hospital. Like nobody's in the hospital. Like no intensive care, no regular patients. Like nobody at all is in the hospital here in Manitoba, right? So they're bringing up the elective surgeries again. We're going to start getting those procedures done, right? Yeah. Lots of people out there waiting for things medically, right? Waiting for things medically. And then again, I don't know, Wednesday when we were talking with Nancy, what's happening with Nancy with the subsidies, right? Like she's going to end up without her internet and maybe without a home to live in. Like I don't know how possible that is. It's going to be an absolute disaster, right? But Nancy can come and hang out with me, and I can help Nancy out, right? I can help Nancy out. Like I wouldn't mind. I think she would make a great hypoglycemic, and that makes you crave sugar when you're hypoglycemic. I had a doctor told me I was hypoglycemic, right? But that was because of my operation, the gastric bypass I had malabsorption, like I had to take lots and lots of vitamins to stay healthy, right? And I think probably that's why it's contributed to why I'm so well. They say that operation that I have takes 15 years off of your life, right? But I changed my whole life when I would have been dead, right? I would have been dead years ago now. I had that operation in 1987 or 88. I had that stomach stapling gastric bypass, right? I was at high risk for the same disease as what my dad had, the heart disease, the congenital heart disease, the hardening of the arteries. My mother had, like I said, she had the arthritis, and no, she didn't have diabetes, but her grandmother had diabetes, right? And there's tons of obesity. So I was able to get that operation paid for by the government here in Canada, right? Here in Manitoba specifically, right? Because your mental well-being is just as important as your physical well-being. Now, isn't that a mess to be in, considering all the emotional issues that are going on now with the coronavirus? How's all my crew doing emotionally? How's my crew doing? Owen's not here yet. I'm a little bit worried for Owen, right? Owen's having a hard time at home with his mom, helping his mom out, and he's all by himself, right? He's all by himself. So, he's dealing with a little bit of loneliness and stuff, right? And we all are, like even me, right? Being at home, and I'm thinking, like, what's the point of even being here, for the half an hour that I get to see my sisters on the weekends, right? Like, what kind of life am I living, right? If it wasn't for my platforms, it wasn't for my YouTube and my Instagram, right? Right? Like, what kind of life? Well, if I didn't have the Instagram and if I didn't have the YouTube, then I would be spending more time outside. I would be doing more walks, guaranteed. If I wasn't doing my YouTube and my Instagram, I probably would have applied myself harder, right, at working, right? But because I'm chasing this dream down, right, this, to choose my own career down, right, that I took that little bit of a hit, right? Yeah, I like my carbs too. I had to give up sugar, right? Like, or not sugar. I had to give up candy. Like, I don't eat any candy at all. I eat these little chocolate poop things that my sister makes. Like, she orders baking for Christmas, right? And I know they're like dessert and they're technically candy, right? They got Rice Krispies and chocolate and peanuts and stuff, and they're so good. But I eat a ton of those at Christmas time, right? Because I consider those not candy. But yeah, I gave up candy years ago, and there've been less than 5 times on my hand, in those. Oh my gosh, it's got to have been 2005 to 15 years. Has it been that long? I haven't had candy in 15 years. That is incredible. 15 years, and I can count on one hand how many times I've had candy since then. And when I broke down on candy, it was always those quality street chocolates at my sister's house. When I go to her house to do house cleaning and stuff, right? She doesn't keep fun munchies, like good munchies in her house, right? But she likes quality street chocolates at Christmas and stuff. So she's always got quality street chocolate. So whenever I broke my rule, right, about eating candy, it was with the quality street chocolates, right? I just really, really like quality. They're my absolute favorite. My whole family loves the quality streets. They were my dad's favorite. No, the licorice candy, you know, the layered licorice ones, they were my dad's favorite. They were also my favorite, right? But then my mom loved marshmallows and I love marshmallows too. I don't consider marshmallow a candy, right? So I do eat marshmallows on occasion. I think I had marshmallows a few weeks ago. I had marshmallows and I really, really enjoyed them, right? I put I like Pop Tarts, right? And I pick them up off the shelf because I always, when I go to the store now, like I pick up a treat, right? I pick up one treat I'm allowed a treat, and yesterday it was wagon wheels. I grabbed wagon wheels, right? But I allow one treat, right? And yeah, I think a couple of weeks ago that I did. But I did ice cream sandwiches a few weeks ago too. So, you know, I am getting my treats in, and every Monday, like or whatever, once a week, whenever I weigh myself, whatever day it was that I remember to weigh myself, right? As long as I haven't gone over that 10 pounds, like I want to keep losing, like I had gained 9 pounds and then I lost it down to 6 pounds, right? But I didn't really watch what I was eating. Like yesterday I ate wagon wheels. Yesterday I did. I ate wagon wheels and I made myself a shepherd's pie, right? With instant mashed potatoes, not real potatoes, right? Because then I would have had to buy a big bag and then I would have eaten the whole bag of potatoes, right? But I bought one of those little boxes of instant mash just so I could make a shepherd's pie, and I really, really enjoyed it, right? Do you do that, Andrew? Do you buy chocolate chips and eat the chocolate chips instead of putting them in your cookies? I make a great chocolate chip cookie. I make an amazing chocolate chip cookie. Like all my baking, I don't even use recipe books or anything, right? I guess because of my taste buds and stuff, I just kind of go a dash of this, a dash of that, right? Oh, you do you? Yeah. But I used to make chocolate chip cookies, and then you always have a couple of the chips at the bottom of the bag, right? Before you pop your cookies into the oven. Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? The walks are a good start, William, right? The walks are a really, really good start. Get those muscles back in shape, right? And as we grow older, it's natural for us to pack on a little bit of that weight, right? We don't have to eat like the way we ate when we were 20 years old, right? And providing going out hunting and providing food for the table, right? Now we're in our senior years, right? Then that's when you start to cut back and you don't need as much, right? But I never deny myself, right? I would never say, oh, Cindy, you can't have that piece of pie. Or, even when I did that big weight loss last year, when I did that 60 pounds, I lost that 60 pounds last year. If I had really wanted something, if there was a birthday party, if I really wanted something to eat, I would never have said no, right? I'm not one for denying myself what I really want. I want to be happy, right? This poor girl, this poor body, right? Like it got lots of beaten ups over the course of its lifetime. So, yeah, whatever I can do to make it happy. And if all it means is, you get your ice cream sandwich, right? If you're just getting an ice cream sandwich and a wagon wheel, then yeah, enjoy. Yeah. Oh, Andrew. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Andrew /K. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, Andrew. See, this is when I wish I had like a community birthday hat. Like I should just have like a some kind of emoji or something where I could just highlight you, right? As the grand poobah or something. Now, let's just take a look and see what kind of buttons, if anything, I have here. Yeah, report the user. No, can't do that. Yeah, remove from moderator, hide user. No, put user in timeout. Should we put Andrew in timeout? Then Cindy wouldn't have any comments going on. She wouldn't have any chatter going on. William would have to take over the whole show, but William's getting so good now too in the conversations, right? And such a good speller, William. Like I'm watching these words that you're writing, and yeah, like you're a very, very good speller. I guess that's from like writing your songs that you learned to be such a good speller, or did you do well in school, William? Did you do well in school? Yeah. Yeah, like because he very rarely makes spelling errors, William, right? And I would expect Andrew, right? I would expect Andrew to have excellent writing because I've seen he has beautiful, beautiful calligraphy writing, right? Yeah, right. And I was talking to Kathy yesterday. She came on my live on Instagram, Andrew, and she she does adult coloring books, right? She did this mystic traveler, and Owen's here too. She did this mystic traveler picture, and she colored it all in for me, and she's going to mail it to me this week. So I'm pretty excited to get that. So I told her, I says, yeah, and then I can frame one of Andrew's letters to me, like one of his beautiful letters, and then the cards and the pictures that Sharon sent me and stuff. Like maybe we could do some kind of feature wall here, right? From the love from my followers. Wouldn't that be amazing? I think that's a good idea. You know, I've got a binder that's just things from my, then I would have to get a hold of Kim, right? I would have to, because Kim's got a picture. She did a trademark, like she did a drawing of Prairie Dodgers. Yeah, so yeah, I would have to figure out a way to get to her and get that and hang it on the wall too, right? What a good idea. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I could leave this space and then everything around the space. But then again, it might make it look messy, right? And not tidy. Like these little plaques and stuff. I've got them still sitting there right now. It's just because I haven't decided what I'm going to do about them. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to put them in the wall. I'll put all those little things on the wall, right? And then on the shelf wall, and then I will put all my the little things, right, to remember all the kindnesses from my viewers, and then put that stuff on the wall, right, and then just point the stuff out, right, because these things, they're mementos. They mean things to me, right? They mean things. Like my Google, this is the card. Google mailed that to me when I got accepted into the monetization program, right, when I was able to monetize my channel, and they sent that to me, and I got that I think I got that like 2 or 3 months after I started. Like when I first started my YouTube channel, like I had my 1,000 subscribers, I think in the first week of starting my urban exploration, like my YouTube channel went right there. And then of course, Google Plus and them offering me a business account. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just kind of, okay. And then once I push that button, then you're in it, right? And I'm happy for, right? Because I never really expected, I'd always hoped, but now I don't expect anything. If it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, that's okay too, right? Because I'm really pleased with what this contributes to my life. And at the same time, I feel good because I know it's contributing a little bit out there too at the same time, right? Oh, right. Your knees, Andrew. But you ride your bike, right? You said you ride your bike. I sometimes do that soup diet too, right? I do sometimes do that. Oh, I would love, anytime you figure out the Instagram, Andrew, you figure out the Insta. It's so easy. Just Google it. Google Google Instagram. It'll be a download button. Download it and you're in, right? And then you'll get a notification when I go live, and then you can come live with me anytime over there, right? It's a little bit harder to do it here on YouTube, because then we would have to film it, and then I'd have to set you up with Zoom, which is going to be really, really hard to do it that way, right? It would be too difficult for you to figure that out. But you could do Instagram. That's true too. And even on my bike, I got two gel seats on my bike, but my bum still hurts because I get so excited when I get on my bike, right? Like, I don't even want to go home when I go bike riding, right? Even when I go for walks, right? I just want to keep walking, right? Right? Yeah, see, that's the difference. Here in Manitoba, everything is so flat, right? There are no hills. There are no hills here in Winnipeg. I'm trying to think. There's got to be a couple of inclines, maybe like the underpasses on the roads and stuff, but in actuality, here in Manitoba, like, you could pretty much ride anywheres and not even hit a hill. You'd have to go a couple of hours north, right, in order to even start to see any hills, right? There are no hills here in Manitoba. Everything's so flat. That's why they call it the prairies, right? That's why they call it the prairies. Little notification there. Yeah, we're gonna have to get by. Here they come. Here they come. Sorry, people. I can turn the volume off here. I should actually just turn the volume and just get because you don't need the volume, because I got the microphone, right? And I almost sold it this year. I'm so glad I didn't, right? Everybody lowballing me. I know this is the good one out of the blue, out of the Yetis. This is the best one because of the finish and everything. And I know this one was almost $200, right? My sister got it for me for Christmas. Oh, David's here. David, how are you doing today? How are you doing? Are you getting a little bit of rest, or are you still busy with your congregation, right? Yeah. Oh, it's nice to see you, David. Really nice to see you. Oh, right, right. The beaches, right? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll get to the beach sometime this summer, but people are going to be funny about that too, right? You know, they don't know. Is Kathy here too? Oh, Kathy's here. Yay. Yeah. Oh, Progresso soups. Okay. Yeah, I make homemade soups, right? But I always tend to put too many beans in my soup, and then I end up paying for it with terrible, terrible, terrible stomach aches, right? Terrible stomach aches. How's your day going, Kathy? What's the weather like in Nova Scotia today? I did a trip to the East Coast. I think that was in 93. In 1993, I went to the East Coast. My husband took me to the East Coast on a little trip when he came home from his tour in Croatia, right? And we went out there so I could meet his family and everything. And it was a wonderful trip. Like, we went to Nova Scotia, we went to PEI. His family was in New Brunswick, right? Yeah, it was an amazing. I just loved the trip to the East Coast, right? Oh, good to hear, Kathy. Good to hear. But but here in Manitoba, what people don't know, even though that we are prairie provinces, we have beautiful beaches here. We shipped all our sand in from Florida and from Vancouver, I think. All the sand was shipped here for Winnipeg Lake. Winnipeg Lake is over 24,000 kilometers. That's how big Winnipeg Lake is, right? And we have beautiful, beautiful beaches. You would never know that you weren't at the ocean. We even get really, really big waves, right? Really big waves out on that lake, right? Yeah, I discovered, Winnipeg, Lake Winnipeg, like, oh, very soon after I moved to Manitoba, right? Because we lived in Vancouver. And even though I didn't go into the oceans anymore, right? Because after I saw Jaws, and I used to go out there. I used to swim out so far. I was such a good swimmer. I used to swim out so far that I would be out with the barges that I could actually see the guys out on the decks, right, of their ships, right? They would be pointing and waving at me and stuff, right? And I would just go way, way out there, like crazy. Just as a like Jaws came out when I was maybe 12 years old, 1977, right? Okay, so I was a teenager. I was a teenager already. But after I saw that movie Jaws, I never ever went into the water, into the ocean ever again. I still went to like swimming pools and stuff, but I never, it ruined me. It ruined me from the beaches, right? It ruined me from the beaches. And I used to love the water, right? But that movie Jaws scared the poop out of me. It scared the poop out of me, right? And because, sometimes the sharks do get up that far north on the coast of BC and the coast of Washington like that, right? You know, even in the St. Lawrence River, right? In the St. Lawrence River, right? Right where actually Andrew is, right? That's pretty. St. Lawrence River, is that pretty close to you, Andrew? They have got bull sharks and they've actually sent cameras down there and caught them on video, right? These sharks actually adapted to the river like that. Great big monster bull sharks in the St. Lawrence River, right? 1975. Okay, so I would have been 14 years old when Jaws came out then, right? Yeah, what a scary movie that was for me. My mother loved horror movies. So even as little kids, we were going to scary movies, right? I remember we went to Reno one time and my mom took us to go see The Exorcist. What a scary movie that was, right? For little kids. Like I couldn't have been more than well, that must have come out around the same time, right? The Exorcist, right? And at those times, like these were restricted movies and stuff. But if you went with your mother, you could go see whatever you wanted, right? If your mother was with you, you could go in to see whatever. My mother didn't believe in any of that stuff. She just figured, like, okay, we're going to the movies. We're going to the movies, right? Okay, in New York, but the St. Lawrence River, Andrew, that's pretty close, right? Oh, it is. Oh, then I must have gotten it wrong, Andrew, because I thought you lived close to the border of Ontario. So I must have been thinking wrong when I was looking at the map because I was feeling bad when I went to Toronto this past fall that I didn't stop by to see you, right? That I didn't take the States way home instead because I took the mountains there, right? But I could have taken the States home, but it was such a beautiful drive there. What an experience. And the experience driving home was just as amazing. I could live on the road. I know I could. I could live on the road and be happy out on the road too, right? But at the same time, you still have to have your internet. But there's going to come a point where we're not going to connect to towers, right? That we're all going to be connected to the satellites and stuff, and then we won't have to worry about that roaming and not having proper, like service and stuff. Like no matter where you are, right? I can see like in another few years, even the third world countries and stuff that don't even have internet will be able to access it, right? I bet you the people in North Korea, right, are able to, right? I bet you they're able to find out what's going on here in the rest of the world just because they're able to connect to the internet through the satellites, right? Mind you, I'm sure the government would have a way of figuring it out. But if they didn't, then that's good because then that I've been watching interviews lately of people that have escaped from North Korea, right? People are trying to figure out, what's going on with the virus in North Korea, right? Because everything is showing 000, right? Because some countries are not really being forthright with the information, right? Like even China has stopped putting the information out there, right? And Canada is now in the top 13 countries with the virus, right? And still our numbers are not as high as not even close, right? You wouldn't think as some of them, but we hit number 13, right? And yeah, it's not a contest, right? But I don't like to see those numbers go up in our country. But yeah, even here in Manitoba, we had two new cases. It was a long weekend last weekend, right? It was a long weekend. I knew we were going to get a little bit of a hit. So it's starting to show now. So far in one day, 2 cases. So we'll see in the next few days. The next few days will be very telling here, right? With the long weekend to see how the numbers jump. But in India, the numbers are jumping by the thousands. They got control over the deaths, right? They're doing really, really well at taking care of everybody, right? That's sick right now. But the numbers are rising so fast. The numbers are rising so fast by the thousands every day, right? In India. Yeah. And I knew it. I knew that was going to happen, right? 2.4 billion people in India, right? 2.4. Economically, that's going to be devastating, right? Population wise, it's going to hit absolutely every family, right? And because infrastructurally, right, their infrastructure is so bad, like 80% of them don't have even proper washrooms or anything, right? That hygienically, that it's going to pass a lot easier. Like there isn't even accesses, to fresh, clean water, soap bars of soap and water to keep their hands clean and stuff, right? So they have to rely on sanitizers, right? And I'm sure they are, and I wish them best of luck that to get control of that, right? And the thing is, they're being really, really tough. The government has no choice. The government has no choice but to be really, really tough, right? So, if you hear stories about India, it's because they don't have a choice. They're trying to save lives. They're trying to save lives, and these people, they're not able to communicate. Like there were some interviews that they didn't even know that the virus was going on or anything, right? Like they got stopped. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to the store. No, there's a virus going on, right? Right. And these people, are just not getting in that information. So they're going to be strict, and you're probably going to hear, some stories that probably you're not going to resonate well with. But if you're understanding as to why they had to do it, right? Because, sometimes kindnesses aren't packaged up like kindnesses, right? Sometimes people do kind things and agencies do kind things, but they don't feel kind, but they're doing it. The reasons are with the heart, right? The reasons are with the heart, even though it might look different, right? But oh, here in Canada, they have a new guy, Urbix Canada. He's calling me. Yeah, I think he's called Urbix Canada. He's a new guy, right? He's been traveling all across the country, but I haven't been following his videos, but I see they get suggested every once in a while, right? Yeah, North Korea. Yeah, I've been watching some interviews with some of the people that have escaped from the country, right? The little children and stuff, and their lives are so amazing, right? That they just love their lives so much, right? You and that's true too for all of us, right? When you go without and then all of a sudden that amazing, right? And then you say, oh, like, how could I have lived without this my whole life, right? You know, what you don't know doesn't hurt you, living like that, right? And people in North Korea, because there's no internet allowed, right? There's no real communication outside their country, right? And it's government run, so there's a lot of propaganda, like I would assume, right? And every country loves themselves, right? You got to be a patriot for your own country, but it's not like the public there doesn't realize what's going on. Otherwise they wouldn't try to escape, right? And I know there's issues with food, right? People are having issues with not having enough food to eat, right? Yeah. you know it makes you wonder, right? It makes you wonder. It's easy for me to sit behind a camera and say, let's do kind things for people, right? But we physically have to do kind things for people too, right? Let people know that they're of value. And that's actually my post today. I picked the word worthy, right? Because lots of times life divvies out to you things that aren't so wonderful, right? Oh, I just saw the tip of my little I don't know, he's a little squishy hippopotamus that I have here on my peg. This is my peg, right? It's full of my manifestation, my important manifestation. I've never opened it, right? And my lucky pennies in there. This is my meditation pig, but not like I meditate very often anymore, right? Yeah. Right? It just seems sometimes like I try if anybody has any good tips on how to meditate properly, right? How can I connect, right, properly in meditation, right? I just find it to be like a waste of time. Like I'm sitting there waiting for things to happen and I'm just wasting time. Like I could be washing my dishes or watching a good video or something, right? And I wish I didn't feel that way because everybody, well, I know a few people who don't meditate, right? But I don't think it's the norm, right? I think a lot of people who do what I do, like they spend a lot of time in self-reflection and meditating. And I do kind of meditate like when I go for walks and stuff, but it's not your classic cross your legs and close your eyes and go deep inside. Like I don't do that, right? Do you, David? Do you meditate, David? I would be curious to know if our Franciscan monk, if he meditates, right? I'm sure he contemplates. He does prayer, and prayer is like meditating, right? Prayer, Andrew, is prayer like meditating? Oh, Kathy, thank you for that one. Thank you for that one. Right? Because I've been having a hard time. Kathy, how important is it for me to actually put some effort into the meditation? How important do you like? I keep hearing how important it is, but how important is it, right? Right? Because I do try, but I'm so disinterested in it, right? Ah, right. That makes sense, Andrew. That's a good analogy, right? Prayer is talking to God, and then meditation is listening to God. Hmm. I do get really good intuition, which I think comes from God, right? Does that count as meditating? When I get these ideas and stuff, like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for letting that pop into my head right now. Because I do notice now, like this week, right? I've been trying to talk to myself more, right? Like out loudly to be able to talk more because I ask for things and I have conversations inside my head and stuff all the time, right? But it's all inside my head, right? But lately in my lessons and stuff, it says that it's important to vocally ask for things, right? So that your ears pick it up and the messages get to where they need to go and stuff. So I've been spending more time thinking, right? Stay with it, eh? Stay with it. My dad meditated all his life for as long as I known my dad, right? He would meditate 20 minutes in the morning and he would meditate 20 minutes in the evening. I remember because he always go to his room, right? And he'd always say, "Be quiet." And then, if we made any noises, like mom would be right there with her back scratcher, right? Right? Dad, your dad's meditating. Right? Right? But my dad did it, right? And yeah, I wish I paid more attention, right? It's so easy in hindsight to say I wish, right? I would have loved to have spoken. My dad would have given me so much insight right now, right? He would have given me so much insight. He would have been so proud of me to start with, right? To start with, but to just without any expectations. So just sit there, just quietly close my eyes and just kind of just sit there and see what happens. I'll try again after tonight. Okay. Tonight, I promise. Tonight, I promise. Oh, contemplation is being with God too, right? Okay, so I do a lot of contemplation when I go for my walks, right? When I go for my walks and I get with nature, when I go out to raise land, when I'm urban exploring, when I'm out on my country drives, right? Quite often I can get to point A and point B and yeah, not know how I got there and not know what was going on in between that into that space, right? Yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, so tonight for sure. I promise. Yeah, before I go to bed, I am going to do a real effort, right? A real effort. Like I'm not going to sit there like I usually do, right? Like I go to bed and I sit at the edge of the bed with the lights off, right? And I sit there at the edge of the bed and I blank out, right? I blank out and I just sit there and and I try to meditate. And then I have, you don't see it, and I painted the wall too. But I put a little dot on the wall, right? Right there. You can't even see it. I put a little dot on the wall, right? And sometimes I'll turn my chair around because they say to stare at the dot, right? Because you can't stare at the dot. You can't lose concentration if you're just concentrating on the dot, right? So I concentrate on I still can't do it, right? And then they also say, like, take in the deep breaths and then hold it. So I'll take in the deep breaths and I'll pull it right down to my the lower chakra, right? And I'll just hold it there, and then I just release it, right? And still nothing, right? Still nothing, right? I never hear a voice, like I never hear voices, and I never get direction. I never get a vision, right? If that stuff were to happen, that happens like when I first wake up in the morning, like when I first wake up and I open up my eyes, that's when those things come to me, right? So I think maybe God speaks to me when I'm sleeping, right? That's what I'm thinking, that because I don't dream, I don't remember my dreams, right? I don't dream. I'm trying too hard. Is that what it is? I'm trying too hard because I try all the time, right? I try all the time because I know, everybody does it. And if I'm going to be online, right? And I want to divvy out this information to people, right? That I thought it was important that I, meet as the example and practice it myself. But yeah, I just haven't yet, right? But I do get amazing intuition. Like my intuition, it just pops into my head as a knowing, right? Like I just know that's okay. No question there, right? And it's a knowing that I get, right? And my intuition, it works really, really well. But I also have this theory, okay? I have this theory. I don't know if you notice me, if I'm different than somebody else in some aspects, if there's something different about me, right? Than of other people who come through like that. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. I think 1967. I actually know the year because I actually researched the date of when they did this trial, right? My dad, my mom and dad had us kids on a government trial. They were trying to figure out how much fluoride to put into the water system, into the tap water, right? It was just discovered. It was in the late 60s, right? And they were just going to start putting fluoride in the water. Now, I heard, right, when I started all this journey, right, that how bad fluoride is for empaths. We got free dental, us kids, right, for until we were 18 years old because we went into this trial. And that's why my dad put us in the trial. My mom and dad put us in that trial because they were low income, right? Not always low income, but more often than not, because again, my dad was a gambler, right? And because we were nomads, right? There was either lots of money or no money. So we were either living like kings or we were living on welfare, right? You know, that's the way we lived. But in order to get free dental, my dad put us on this trial, this fluoride trial, and we gargled fluoride. My mother put the fluoride on our toothbrushes. We had to brush our teeth with it. The fluoride was put into our orange juice. Like, we got so much fluoride. And they say that your I can't say the word, pituitary gland, right? Pituitary gland calcifies with too much fluoride. And they say, oh, buy toothpaste that doesn't have fluoride in it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got so much fluoride in me that my whole brain has got to be calcified. How did it even manage to happen, right? To have that. And then I think now too, if I do believe in reincarnation, or if I believe that the future plays out in the past, then was that a conspiracy that me and my sisters, right, who also happen to be empaths, right? Different, right? But also maybe not empaths, but they are inclined that way, right? But all of us were on that. So was it a conspiracy? Did somewhere in the past, did they decide to turn us girls into a little bit of an experiment and see if all that calcium was going to do a trick? Yeah. Yeah, well, what fluoride does is it makes your teeth rot from the inside out. If you get too much fluoride, right? Your teeth will rot from the inside out. Yeah, I've had a lot of dental work. My sister Tracy, she keeps her teeth beautiful, but she spends a lot of money at the dentist to keep her teeth nice, right? And then my other two sisters, they have teeth like mine, right? I need dental myself. You brush you can, right? With a toothbrush and a tube of toothpaste, like the Filipinos, right? The Filipinos brush their teeth after every single meal, right? I in the plants that I worked at, there were lots of, here in Manitoba, there are lots of Filipinos, right? And after lunch in the lunchroom, they'd all be in the bathroom with their tube of toothpaste and their toothbrushes, cleaning their teeth like that, right? Obviously, they can't afford, in the Philippines, they can't afford to be going to see dentists all the time, but it's brought up in them, right? As they're taught as children to take care of their teeth, right? Right. And they have beautiful teeth, right? And you got to appreciate, So getting a little bit hot now. So I thought I'd take my sweater off, right? But yeah, it's it is, different cultures, right? And every culture brings a little bit of something. And then, eventually we'll all be one world. We'll all be one race, right? It might be thousands of years down the road, but all these best traits that the human beings have will be in us, right? And then hopefully we won't have any bad ones, right? We will have eliminated all the bad habits that we have, right? And hopefully we treat each other a lot better. I went live this afternoon with a friend of mine, Nick Tabor, right? He's a fitness coach. He has cerebral palsy, but he's a fitness coach, right? And he does a lot of work too, um, with emotional intelligence. And me and him went live today, and we talked about bullying, because he was also bullied as a child in school, right? And so we had this great conversation about bullying today, right? And it affects us. We grow up as adults, and we carry these problems and these things. They affect us so much, right? But now they're going to be bringing emotional intelligence into the schools, right? So now that they have these non-bullying programs and stuff, these campaigns and stuff to stop bullying and stuff, right? But I think that's all that's going to happen, is it's going to stick it into people's heads. So instead of looking for those physical triggers, right, of somebody saying something nasty to you before they jump on you and beat the poop out of you, right? Now you've got to kind of second guess what's going on inside of their head, right? For somebody like me, I was saying, like, it would be easy for me to read your face, read your eyes, read your physical movements and stuff, and I would get a gist of what you were up to. But there are lots of people that can't read people like that, right? So, but at the same time, if somebody gives you a dirty look, everybody knows what a dirty look is, right? And who's going to get in trouble for that? Nobody's going to get in trouble for that, right? Right? Nobody's going to get in trouble. So you're going to have these people giving you these looks and snubbing you and stuff, but then you're not going to be able to read them, because they're not going to say nothing to you. So I would much rather I would much rather know what I'm dealing with, right? So just saying, like, bullying is not allowed, right? You can't shove people, you can't say bad things. Okay, well that's all great, right? But what happens when the parents aren't looking, the teachers aren't looking, and the counselors aren't looking, right? And you don't know what's been going on in that person's head, because they haven't said anything to you. They haven't done anything to you, right? So you might not even think anything of it, right? Until they actually do get you as you're going home from school or what have you, right? I mean, it's got to be, bullying has to be dealt with, but I don't think emotional intelligence is the only thing that you could use to solve those problems. It's a good solution. It's a good start, but yeah, you'd have to have a really tight program for it to work, right? Because it's going to be a few generations before we can clean out the damage that's been done to the millennials and stuff, right? Bring back their self-worth, their self-esteem. And because I understand them, because I'm at the tail end, right? 1961 would have been the tail end of the baby boomers, right? So I kind of floated between the millennials and the baby boomers, right? So I have some of those issues that those millennials have, right? And so we got a lot of work, and it's a matter of helping each other out to get that done, right? Oh, David, thank you. Meditation, prayer, meditation, and contemplations are graces that God gives for the asking. Interior castle. Oh, perfect. Thank you, everybody, for this information, right? I've been looking for more information. I've been coming off of YouTube too, actually, and going into articles and stuff, which is new for me. And I do enjoy reading articles. It's just videos are so much more interesting. And I like videos because I like to read people, right? I like to read people. I like to watch their eyes. I like to watch their gesture. It's how I tell if people are telling the truth to me, right? And I'm sure some of us here do that too, right? We watch other people's actions and their facial expressions and the different expressions that they have, body movements and stuff, right? Right? And that's how we get our information. And that's why I kind of worry about this, this emotional intelligence coming into the schools. It's amazing. I mean, there's lots of amazing things, because then the help to the kids would be individualized, right? And they would take people's emotions into consideration, right? In figuring out their school itineraries, right? So there are lots of good traits, right? But I just don't want the meanness to be covered up. That would be my concern, that the meanness is just going to be disguised and not eliminated. And that's what my worry is, eh? Eat what? What are you talking about? Eat crunchy, crunchy. Okay, I could go back here. I've missed something, obviously, because I don't understand what Andrew's talking about. Yeah, thank you, David. I like that. Prayer and meditation and contemplation are graces that God gives for the asking. See, and that's what I got to practice do too, right? To ask aloud. And I've been doing that, and I haven't been doing it for long, right? But I do it when I go for walks in the evening, and I do it here. And plus I do my Google Chronicles, right? Which is also talking loud. And it's really interesting. It's really interesting, right? Because I do these videos. I on my phone. I do these videos. I don't upload them. They automatically get uploaded. They back up. They back up onto my Google Photos. They do back up that way, right? But then the next morning when I go into my suggested videos, whatever I'm talking about in the Google Chronicles, there are videos for me. There are videos waiting for me, right? So Google is not only listening to this conversation as I'm going live, right? They're listening to what I write. They're listening to the comments, right? They're listening to how I respond to the comments, right? And then something as simple as me making a video, and I never even uploaded it or anything. It just went straight to my Google, right? And they know that too. But I give Google full permission on this, right? Because I truly believe, like Google, I'm sure Google is because they have a mission statement too. Now I was just looking at their mission statement just a few days ago, right? Because I trust Google. I trust Google with everything, and I want this to be a journey for them. But also because Google is so much into studying and tracking and analytics and stuff, right? That maybe they can track me, and then maybe somebody could get some help that they want, right? From Google, because Google, understood. But at the same time, I'm getting Google Talks, right? I'm being invited. Well, I'm not being invited, but they're suggesting the videos, the Google Talk videos on emotional intelligence to me. And if they hadn't known that I was interested in that, right? Because I'm mentioning it in my my Google Chronicles, my video diaries that I do, and I do those twice. I try to do them twice a month, at least 2 videos a month. And I just did one. Yesterday. I told him I might do another one because there's still another week left, right? But I had a lot on my mind yesterday, right? A lot of questions and a lot of things on my mind. And now that I know that Google kind of pays attention, and they, and sure enough, I wake up in the morning and there's a video, and I get a little bit more insight. So I'm using my intuition, right, to move myself forward, being creative and moving myself forward, right? I'm just looking here, mission statement for Google. It's a good one too. So I trust them, right? I love their mission statement, and Google's going to be around. Google is going to be around for absolutely ever. So if there's some way that Google can like measure me, analyze me, right? Listen to me talking. Obviously, when I come in on my next life, I will be somebody else, right? But maybe they'll be able to track me down and find me and then say, hey, this was Cindy, right? This was Cindy in the year 2020, right? And it's like year 3000 or something, right? And then that'd be helpful for me and maybe helpful for somebody else, right? And I can track my progress. I don't know. This is the way my brain works anyway. Okay, so here's Google's mission statements. Google's corporate mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Ever since its beginnings, the company has focused on developing its prosperity algorithms to maximize effectiveness in organizing online information. So that's what they do. And they are going to be around. Google's going to be around 1,000 years from now, right? And I trust them, right? I've been doing so good and at a nice pace. And where I see some people, they falter, in this process. I haven't faltered, right? I haven't faltered that way. And I think it's because I feel like, there are creators out there who I feel like watch out for me, right? That I feel like I truly, right? That watch out for me. But I also feel that same way about Google, right? I feel that same way about Google watching out for me. Google, YouTube. I consider so if I say Google, it could be YouTube. If I say YouTube, it can be Google. And I mix them up just like I mix the names of my nieces up, right? But yeah, to organize the world's information and make it universally acceptable and useful for everybody, right? And they do that. And 1,000 years from now, they'll still be doing that, right? Yeah, I trust them with their information. I love the security with my accounts. I love the security. And the thing too, also when I don't quite understand things, right? When I don't know what's the next move. Should I push this button and change this to a personal account from a business account? Or should I do this? Or should I do that? And I have these questions and it just seems like, there's an answer for me, right? And then sometimes, even Google say, push this box if you want this to happen, right? Like something I didn't know I needed. And I was like, push this box. We'll think we got it, right? So I'll check the box and they'll go ahead and they'll take care of it. And like I said, I go in on as many betas as I can, right? I go in to what's here? Privacy bar. Okay, I'm just accepting cookies from Google because I haven't really gone into that. Yeah, so I guess they changed their cookies on that, right? But yeah, even on my system, right? Like I have Windows, I just downloaded the Chrome. I don't care. I'll hog up all my space, right? Next time I know like a Chromebook or something, because I would like to be total Google, right? I would like everything, everything to be Google if at all possible. Yeah. I agree with you, Andrew. We actually discussed that. Me and Nick discussed that this afternoon, right? That I didn't meet my potential, right? I didn't meet my potential. Like, what if I was supposed to be like a famous psychologist or a famous philosopher or famous scientist, right? A famous archaeologist, right? It would have been around my interests, obviously, right? What if I was supposed to be one of those, right? But because of the bullying at school, and me being fearful because I'm always watching out to see what's coming at me next, that I couldn't concentrate on what the lessons the teachers were trying to give to me, right? That I ended up not meeting my potential as an adult, that I missed that mark, right? Right? That I missed that mark. So I am now, this is what I was saying earlier, that maybe, that what I'm doing here is I'm adapting, I'm conquering, right? And I'm just staying like in the same field, but nothing where I have to go to school, right? Because obviously at 58 years old, I'm not going to start school again. Otherwise, I'm going to be dead by the time, uh, by the time I'm actually of use to anybody, right? So we're best that I just do this, learn and cram as much information into me as I can, right? But I have all that information as I experienced it, right? In my lifetime, all the things that I went through, right? So I'm tying what I've learned in with the experience that I have rather than being somebody who just said, "Oh, I think I'll be a psychologist," right? And never really had any problems, emotional problems themselves where they could actually, connect with the person that they're helping with, right? You know, like I think Andrew would have been wonderful in that field, no question, right? With his great understanding and his love for learning and stuff, like he would have applied himself, right? Maybe not might not have been a job that he wanted, but I'm just saying it as an example, right? But yeah, you're 100% there, Andrew. You're 100% right. Yeah, you never know, right? You never know. This last job that I had, it was a term position, right? It was only for a few months that I was there. But, when they took me into the office and they said, "Oh, sorry, we can't keep you. We have to let you go," right? You'd be gracious, right? Thank you very much for hiring me. Thank you for taking a chance on me, and it was a pleasure working for you. And as I walked out that door, them saying, wait, wait a minute, Cindy, if you need a reference, don't don't hesitate to use me as a reference. And then the actual production manager says, "Oh, wait a minute, Cindy. Make sure you use me as a reference too. Of course, use me as a reference, right? Right? If I had got up from that seat after they let me go and I said something like, screw you guys, not like I would be that person because it was really, they treated me like gold the whole time I was there. They treated me absolutely amazing, right? I would never do something like that. But they wouldn't have had that inclination to offer up a lovely reference for me like that, right? And I don't have a lot of references, right? The companies I work for have either closed or that the one job I had, right? When I went into that I was working with that company and they got sold out, and then the new company, right? That new and I support the province. I support everything, every provincial organization, any organization that contributes to the well-being for the good of the province, right? Businesses too, right? There are a few business I absolutely love, and they're having such a difficult time, or may have a difficult time, like Electrosign, right? Such a great company, supported me on my Twitter account all the time, giving me the thumbs up, give me a share once in a while. They make neon signs for stores and stuff, right? And now with the coronavirus, right? Now they're at risk of not having business. Now, I'm not sure if they follow me here on YouTube, but if they don't, and if actually somebody knows somebody from Electrosign, right? I would tell them, when you drive down the highway and you come by those great, great big signs, right? And they advertise businesses and stuff. That's what they need to be doing. They need to be putting up those great big signs, those great big, like drive-in theater signs, right? On the main drags, all over the main drags, and then just have it rotated with the different businesses, right? And that way they can keep their businesses, because people are still going to be driving all over the place. They're still going to see those signs, right? So it's a great opportunity, because then what they can do is they can rent space, right? Rent space on their signs, because unfortunately, I would hate to see a company that's brought so much, right? For me, done so much for me, not to be able be successful in their endeavors too. If you have any companies out there, right? If there's a little something that you can do to help boost a company, even if it's just taking a picture of the front of their store and then making a nice comment, right? They say, oh, pick up service, right? Pick up service if you want our special cheesecake, right? Right? How hard is it to take a picture of the front of the store and make a nice comment saying, oh, if you want cheesecake, they have curbside service. Drive by there, order your cake and pick it up. And then you're supporting small business at the same time, right? Yeah. That's how I see it anyway. Like just spreading little kindnesses like that. Eh? Okay, look at lots of comments. You guys are just like tons of comments today. Yeah, we all do, William. We all do. But you just ignore it, right? You just ignore it, and in your mind that they're there, right? But hopefully they'll get some insight from you and they'll either show themselves, right? Maybe they're just waiting for the right moment to pop in and say, hey, just thought I'd pop in and say hi. I've been with you for a long time, right? Like I have lots of regular viewers who watch my videos after I go live all the time that are consistent, and they come in and they never miss my lives. They never miss my lives, right? But I've never met them, right? And they don't leave comments. They don't I can see that they watch my videos, but they don't leave comments or anything, and that's all good too, right? Right? Whatever you're comfortable for. I'm just happy. Like, I don't know specifically, but I know there are people here, right? I do know that there are people here who watch my videos and yeah, don't leave a comment or anything, or sometimes I'll get the thumbs up and stuff, but it's for your own well-being, right? I'm not you don't have to connect with me. And if you do, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, DM me on Instagram or something. I'm happy to have a chit chat with you, right? Happy to help wherever I can. Like, I'm taking in all this information, right? I would like to get some good out there if I can, right? Yeah. But what were you saying? What you were talking about, Andrew, right? I missed that. What you were talking about, something that you were eating, and they get chewy and then they eat them. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at the comments here, but I don't see anything about anything that you were eating here. That's all good. Aw, yeah. Isn't that something, right? And then he got booed, right? And he got booed. He was taught a lesson. He was taught a lesson, right? But that might have caused him some problems, right? That might have caused him some problems. Maybe he didn't get to be an NBA player because all he remembered was getting booed, right? Right? Yeah, everybody makes a mistake, right? I mean, we all end up paying for the mistakes in our own ways. There's always a price, right? 16th century mystic from Spain. Oh, I am missing something good. I am David. What are you talking about? Okay, I gotta go find David's comment. 16th century. Oh, Teresa de Villiva. Okay, yes, I'm writing that. I'm writing that down right now, and I'm going to look at that. And actually, there was something from my live too that I was supposed to check into, and my meditation for tonight. And I have to check in. Wow, I've had a busy day. Yeah, I've had a busy day. Yeah, I've done three lives today, and I'm just finishing up my Instagram post, and I'm going to try the meditation again. And I'm not going to push it. I know I get there, but I just would like to know if I could get there better, right? I never hear voices. I never get any direct messages, right? Ever. Oh no, that's not true. I did hear a voice in my head. It was a year ago, almost exactly, maybe 14 March, April, yeah, 14 months ago, maybe a year ago, right? And I remember I was sitting here and I was picking my nose. I was picking something out of my nose, and clearly, like a voice in my head said, "Stop that! It's a disgusting habit." Right? Right? No emotion or anything, but it was like my brain was trying to be funny without being funny, right? And so now I always have my Kleenex here. I'll grab a Kleenex, and then I'll stick my finger in my nose and I'll try and clean it out with my nose. Now I'm afraid to pick my nose because if I'm gonna have another voice in my head. But it was clear. It was only that one sentence, right? That's a disgusting habit. Stop it. That's a disgusting habit. I could probably I wrote it in my journal that day when that happened because it freaked me right out. It freaked me out. And did I just say that? Did I just say that? Like what was that? Right? Yeah, but it made me so nervous that I always, after that, always now I have a Kleenex, right? Because I got called on picking my nose with my finger. So funny. So I can't believe I told that. I even videotaped it right. I think I even have a little video clip when it happened. I have a little video. I know I have a little video clip because it freaked me out, right? It freaked me out. And it was right at the beginning when I first, started waking up and stuff. And I was just like, everything was just like, what's going on here? Right. Yeah. It was half between freaking out, half crying. And yeah. And then the other half was just delving deep. I just went in it I wasn't, it was really strange, right? Because I just actually, I had no problem even accepting any of it as truth or anything. Like I just accepted it all as fact because I was feeling it and I was seeing it, like my dad said, right? Believe it when you see it, but only believe it when you see it, right? Right? It was that. So, it was kind of the same idea. I heard it, but I heard it. And it was the only time in my whole life that I had ever heard. It was only one little sentence and I heard it. It freaked me out. I wrote it in my book. I made a little video just because I was going to post it the next day. I was going to post it and I went, no, that's too freaky. Everybody will think I'm just a kook for sure if I post this one, right? So I never posted it. But I do have a little clip. So I probably have the date attached to the clip for sure, right? But yeah, a little funny story there. I never told that story before. It's funny. But yes, David, I'm definitely going to So you talk about the mystics, David. You do talk about the mystics, but you're being a Franciscan monk also, right? Right? So you must believe on these things on some levels at some point, right? Right? Yeah, so it makes me curious. Like I have an understanding, like if somebody thought it, right? So I think, okay, you know what? I bet you there are demons. I bet you there are witches, and I bet you there are curses. Like I bet you these things are real because we are taught, right, that whatever the mind can think, it can be created, right? So you got to think that there were people out there who thought these things and believed these things into reality, right? And I also, I follow a lady, Stacy Hawk. Oh, she's so smart. She was a psychotherapist, but she was doing really, really well, but she believed in certain things. So she stopped what she was doing and she became a a life coach, right? So I've been learning off of her quite a bit when it comes to codependent empaths, right? That's what she specializes in, is codependent empaths, right? And she says, she says she believes in all of it. She believes in all kinds of healing measures and everything because somebody believed it. And if somebody believed it and practiced it, they brought it into reality, which makes it a truth, right? And then because I follow law of attraction, I also understand if you think it, it's a reality, right? You can turn it into a reality. So yeah, I believe that too, right? So, but I was curious that I noticed that there was a couple of times that David mentioned the mystics and stuff, right? So I was kind of, being such a religious person, such a godly person, right? That if he believed in these things too, right? I never heard of that, Andrew. Barney Google? Has that got anything to do with like our Google? Yeah, I never heard of it. Maybe it was a mascot or something. I don't know. I'm going to write that down too and Google it. Yeah, I never heard of it. Googly. Oh, googly eyes. Yes, yes, yes. I remember googly eyes. I remember googly eyes. Yeah, Andrew, right? Like the way you love information and the way you're so meticulous, and because you do like that minimal life, right? Like it makes you wonder what you were supposed to do in your life, right? But because the way circumstances happened, right? Our life experiences, the relationships that we had, the good part of them and the bad part of them, they all mold us into something else, right? And the parents are actually molding us into what their parents molded them into, right? Yeah. Very important to be individual, to be who you are, right? To be whoever you are. Yeah. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's going to be a journey for me my entire life, right? But hopefully it'll set me up well for my next one, right? Set me up well for my next one. The imitation of Christ. Imitation of Christ. That sounds interesting. I was actually watching a document just a couple of days ago on that lost Leonardo da Vinci painting, right? The Madre, was that what it was called? The Madre? I'm just trying to think the name of it, but yeah, somebody had painted over it, and it didn't even look like a painting. And then somebody bought it for $45 at an auction, and then they started removing the paint, and when they saw the beautiful hands and the beautiful face coming, they knew it was a Leonardo da Vinci painting. And this painting became the most expensive painting that went to auction ever, right? It went for like $300 million or something like that. It was a huge exorbitant amount, right? But the painting was so beautiful. The painting was so beautiful, right? And it was a lost Leonardo da Vinci. And they knew it. They knew it was out there, right? They knew this painting was out there, but they didn't know what it looked like. So they had a couple of because he talked about it, and it was also in an exhibition, but there were no pictures of it, right? So they weren't quite sure what it was. But then when they found the painting, they knew exactly. See, and that's right, Andrew, right? You take what you resonate and you put the rest away, right? Like you have a sense, did God say this? Yes, this feels like God would have said this. This is what God would have meant for me, right? And then you resonate with it, right? But then sometimes, it's man who writes and then decides, right, what the message is from God, right? So you have to be careful for those ones because those messages aren't God's, right? Those are just from some man's ego, right? So you have to, you feel it, right? But being religious people, right? I'm sure you guys know and feel what's true and what's not true, right? Yeah, not everything shines like a diamond. Not everything that shines is a diamond, that's for sure. I have this dream. You want to hear my dream? I want to open up a mine. Has to be at sea level. I know that. Has to be at sea level. But I'm going to open up an amethyst mine up in northern Ontario or northern Manitoba is where the amethysts are, right? And then I could have that bushcraft life, right? I could dig for amethysts. And then it's a great product for me to sell with my brand, the amethysts, right? Then that's what maybe it could support me as a business so that I could just like carry on. I mean, I'm going to find a way to carry on no matter what, right? But I sure would love to buy a mine, an amethyst mine, right? And there is an amethyst mine up north that's for sale right now, but they want $2 million. They want $2 million for it, but it has a restaurant. It has a picnic area because it's open for the public too. The public can go in and hunt for amethyst too, right? I don't know if I would allow the public in there because you have to have special regulations to keep the public safe and everything, right? And that would take a lot of overhead to keep it safe. But you could have a little gift shop where you could have all the amethysts displayed, and then you sell the best ones, right, to the big stores, and then the nice little ones you sell to your followers, right? Your subscribers and to the public, right? I came up with that idea. I think it's a marvelous idea. It fits very, very well with my brand, Amethyst. And at the same time, I would be fulfilling part of my purpose, right? And then on top of that, I would be fulfilling my desire to be out in nature, right? And then to live that bush life, right? To live that bush life. And I can make videos for my YouTube channel. It would be great. Oh, we are over, people. We are over again. That was a good chat tonight. You guys were really, really good. We're sending best wishes out to Nancy. Hope Nancy is feeling good today. She's probably not having a good day if we haven't heard from her. You know that, right? So we're gonna send a best wish for a good sleep tonight for Nancy, and hope she's feeling well. And anybody else who didn't make it into the live, best wishes to Sharon and to Kim and to Pat, right? And we didn't see Richard today, and we're missing so many that didn't pop in today, but they come in afterwards and they'll leave a little comment. Did you catch Sharon's comment last week? Andrew, it was a nice comment. I have to go. I haven't replied to it yet. Bad me. I just remembered. I read it and I meant to say, gotta make sure I send her a nice comment. But yeah, everybody have a great week. We'll see you Wednesday. And again, if you want to come pop in, watch me go live on Instagram, 5:00 on daily. Okay, everybody, have a great night and we'll see you on Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.